Uh-oh. Oh no. Maybe you were under the impression it couldn't get any smaller than this, but you'd be sadly mistaken. Holy crap. What I have for you today is super exciting. It is the world's smallest all-in-one aquarium with a reef or plant grow light and a sump. Now, I'd be lying to you if I told you I haven't set this up before. I've had it laying around for a while, and there's a lot of companies that actually make these. But it's very simple. It's a USB light. Comes with a single button that for some reason doesn't work unless you hold it. Okay, there you go. That works. And it just plugs in via this little Android charger port. And you can plug that on in. It's got this lid that holds your light. It's got this big opening for feedings, and then some holes just for aeration. This is the tank. It's this small little acrylic box that has some overflow protection. This is where the pump flows in, and it comes out at the top, and then the pump flows out and back into the sump through this little port right here, and it'll do it through the middle of the tank, which is cool, so it adds a little bit more like a cross flow in a way. Comes with your sump, which is another just little black acrylic box. Comes with some media separators in case you want to put biological or chemical media in there. A small pump with this piece of tubing and a nozzle so it can fit right into this little hole. And it sits just like that. Sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of get it to sit in place because the PVC warps a little, but over time it actually gets easier because it will kind of wear it on in. It'll hold the warping of the PVC nice and tight. So today, what I want to do is scape this guy. I want to build a little rock scape for it. I was thinking we'll start off with a reef aquarium. We'll scape it, throw some sand in, and then obviously some corals, and then maybe like a shrimp, like a sexy shrimp might be a cool idea, or I don't know, I'm trying to think what other animals I could put in here. You really can't put much. Maybe a snail, an asterina star, or something like that, astria star, little anemone crab or something. So it's got to be really small. Like, it can't be big at all. Now, I don't know if I want to put sand on the bottom yet, so we're just going to do a rock structure first. Because I was thinking the bottom is clear, and you can get light through it. So, what if I moved one of the pieces of the sump over to this side? And then, obviously, the biological bacteria is going to be in the rock structure. I could take this guy out, and I could run some sort of macroalgae, like Cheeto or something, in this side. Maybe put like a mesh screen here. So we have some like way to remove waste and keep algae levels down, because getting in here to scrub is going to be kind of difficult. And that's the other thing too. The tank itself is very small. So obviously when you're setting up new reefscapes, the common idea now, at least nowadays, is to place it in the middle so you have flow through the back and through the front of it, so you got like nice circular flow. But this guy's so small we may have to butt it up against the back. I would like to, since the flow is already going to be really low, maybe do something like pulsing Xania so they can create flow. Just let it take over the tank. Would be awesome. But I do have a bucket of rocks here. Some small rocks, some rubble and whatnot. And then we're just going to use some Loctite glue to hold them together, because I don't think there's any need for epoxy. The pieces are quite small. So let's get our scaping set up ready. All right, so I laid some paper towels down, obviously, so I don't scratch the desk. I'm going to start pulling out some of our pieces of stone and rubble. I think first what I want to do is kind of separate pieces that I think look cool. The sizes of the pieces, like smaller ones will obviously remain towards the top, and then bigger ones will remain towards the bottom. Some small branching style pieces, and then base pieces, stuff that are going to go on the bottom. I do have a ton. I'm not going to pull out any of the ones that I don't think will fit. And again, we want to keep the scape pretty minimal, because if you do put too much in here, it's just going to take away from how much water is in there. And for biological bacteria, I may even go ahead and put some pieces in the sump, just so that there's more areas for them to stick to. There's no need to go purchase ceramic or anything. All of these little porous pieces of live rock are exactly the same thing. So keep pulling out some of our tinier little accent pieces. These are going to work as our accent pieces. And that's kind of what we need. It shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. May have to bust some more pieces up. Okay, let's pull you guys up and let's see what we have to work with. So we'll put our smaller pieces over on this side. Let's take a look. What we have here, these are like the medium-sized pieces. We'll keep these over towards the middle. A couple more of the like mid-sized pieces. A few more of these. These would be cool to add some extra height to the scape. And maybe we can consider that a mid-sized piece. We do have some rather large ones too. I don't think we're going to use the rather large ones. At least we're going to try and refrain from it, because if we do, we have so much less that we can do with the scape. So yeah, we have our smaller little accent pieces that'll kind of just add some more jutting edges to this rocks, or some more caverns, some mid-sized pieces which will probably start the primary, and then maybe one or two of these. Like, I think that piece is super cool. There's none with like a hole or anything that I'd want to use. This one's gonna be way too big, but let's definitely, I guess, start throwing it together. Now, I first want to get an idea of like how much space that piece would take up, because that takes up a rather large bit of space. And it's really close to the front glass, which is going to make the front glass portion very, very difficult for me to clean. So we may want to avoid that. Wait, hold on. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Okay, maybe we'll build off of that piece. We'll keep that guy on the left side. If we're going to make this a potentially bare bottom aquarium, that could be really cool. And then I guess we'll start to branch off of it. So let's take that out. Now, another thing you want to be careful of when you're doing this, I've done this with one of these aquariums before and totally destroyed it. If you build the scape, I tried to glue the scape to the back wall, and the super glue wound up, I guess, causing that dry texture and destroying the inside of the tank while it cured. So make sure it cures not in there. You need a nice aerated space. So this guy is going to be our base. Maybe we'll get a piece that we could start to branch off with. See if there's anything that looks like it fits nice. Go a little more height. I like these flat pieces. These are always good to get some sort of coral to grow on and stuff. Okay, kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Starts to pull upwards a little bit. We'll put that on. We'll glue that together. The other thing too that I always see people do with these is they tend to put too many rocks in initially because they want this attractive scape, and I totally understand that and justify it. But the biggest thing that you need to keep in mind is you're going to want room for coral growth. Now, technically, something like the Xania isn't going to like branch too far. It'll be pretty close to the base anyways, so that's not really a problem. But still, add a little glue to the edges too. Seems to be a good idea. I think that piece looks awesome. You got the little cave down here. It branches upwards too, so you'll get some pieces that'll grow up on the top, and I think that'll definitely take shape nicely. It's even got some room in the back, some small caverns and stuff. If you got any like bristleworms and things, they'll be crawling through there. That's awesome. I don't know if I want to continue branching off and make it one piece, or if I want to do like two separate columns in here. Maybe this one's a little lower, maybe one that's a little bit taller next. So I was thinking maybe this piece also. Get this right up on top of here. An extra branch somewhere. Give it a little bit extra height. That might be nice. I kind of like that. Let's try. Get some glue on there. That one we shouldn't have to hold very long. It should just stick on its own. And give it a couple seconds. Yeah, I like that. It almost looks like a little hat. Be cool when the coral starts to grow up there as well. I like that. And that adds that little like crevice for more like separation between direction of water flow. There will also be no heater in here, so you're going to want to keep this in a room temperature room, like something that's a little bit on the warmer side. Don't stick it in front of a fan or an air conditioner. That's perfect. I really like that. That's really attractive. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks so, but that's fine. Okay, so moving forward to the next side, the next column. I don't know if I'm going to connect them or not, but I was thinking this piece with a nice flat edge could be a good base piece that we could work off of. You want like a nice base because if you start branching things off of it, if it's not like heavy or flat, it will wind up pulling itself over. This is also a cool piece. It is kind of huge though, but oh, wait a minute. That's not bad. That little drop. It does fall over. We'd have to add a little weight to the backside, of course. I wanted to do more than just like take big pieces, but I kind of like that. I don't know. I don't know how we get this to stand. Or we could put a little piece branching off in front of it. If we put a small piece that branches off in front of it, it should. Dude, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. What we have to do is get some glue on this piece, and then I'll hold it in place. Just gotta find the spot that we stuck it in. It even gives a nice little crevice for some airflow to get under there, less spaces for things to get trapped. That'll keep that piece upright. Even cooler if we did put a small layer of sand or something on the bottom, you'd also start to see this piece creeping out from the bottom too, which is gonna add to the effect of like the sand bed deeper than it is. Oh, I really like that. Now maybe we'll add a little bit more texture to these rocks. Do we want to connect them somehow? I don't know if we want to connect them, but we could if we wanted to. Now remember, I know they're like slightly different colors and stuff, but they're going to start to get the same color as they become used and gain bacteria and algae and all that other yummy stuff. That's cool. And then honestly, what about like a small rock structure in the middle too? That's cool. I like that. Maybe we'll do something tiny. Doesn't have to be big. Oh, I like that. Let's do that. Looks like a rock that's been like buried a ton. Add some glue to that piece. Hopefully that won't cause it to fall over. With sand, that'll definitely start to stay up much easier if we did put sand in there, but on its own, it may become wobbly unless we widen the base, which really isn't that hard to do. I could just widen the base like I did with this guy over here. But it does stand. And what if... I do like this branch piece. Something like that, maybe. Maybe. It's a nice little piece of rock. Nice little piece of rock. Trying to get glue on myself here. Because I totally would. I would cover myself. And then something like that to add more space for coral growth. It's all about trying to think about where the corals are going to go. Now with Zania, it tends to be a pretty aggressively going coral. It's going to spread around the tank like no tomorrow anyways. But I think I like that. That's cool. See if we can get to the stick. Give it just a second. Glue takes a little while to stick, but after it does, it sticks completely. And then obviously it helps too if you get it wet. It cures almost immediately. The wetness definitely helps, but that's kind of nice. I don't know if I want to add any more to any of these pieces at the moment. Because again, like I said, you're going to wind up... Maybe that. That's kind of nice. It adds that nice little cavern. That little like section where you could put a crab might sit or something. Let's figure out what side I need to glue. I lied, we're gonna put this piece here. I do like that. Just throw a little glue on this side. It's like theoretically I could just keep on going, but like you don't want to, because if you do, you're gonna lose a lot of water volume just by all of the rock that you have in there. We already are very low on water volume. I don't exactly know how much water these guys hold, but it's not a lot, so keep that in mind. See if that was enough glue to keep that to stick. But I do like that actually. It adds this little like hole, almost like a hole in a tree. That's cool. Now, the other game, hopefully it all fits, but I like that. You got like 3 pillars. Maybe we will add sand. I feel like sand will really help pull this together. That looks perfect. And we're gonna leave it just like that. We'll let it cure, and then we'll see what it looks like under the light. Okay, so what I did here was I did let them dry for a little while, but I also ran them under some RO water. They aren't fully cured, so I'm gonna have to take them on out again to let them fully cure overnight. But they are getting pretty dang dry. And I can pick them up from the sides and stuff, so that's good. So I want to see what they look like inside because I'm impatient. Then we're going to take them out, let them cure overnight, and then obviously we'll get them back in. But let's first pray. I should have made a little box on the bottom to make sure that they all fit, but we'll make sure they all fit now. Nice and carefully. Don't want to scratch the acrylic. That would be a darn shame. Yeah, so it's going to sit against the back wall. I expect that. That's not a problem, though. Get this guy in there. Also, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. What have I done? I think I went a little too big. No. Went way too big. Come on. Way too close together. All right, hold on a minute. Hang on a minute. All right, so that sits just fine. However, this next one, oh man, it doesn't fit. That's such a shame. That is such a shame. It's just that small. Well, we can't use them both. The question is, which one do we want to use? And then I guess back to the drawing board. I don't know. That's not bad. We do have the little one that we made. I'm so upset. I was so excited too. Really thought that was gonna work. But sadly this guy is just way too big. Put in there. Do we like that more? I don't know. Let's see what the other one looks like in there. Or do we like this one more? I don't want it to just be like in the dead center. I don't like that. I like when it's off to the side. Or we like that more. Definitely kind of starting to get more into this guy. What if we toss this fella on the left? How's that look? Does that have space up in the front? Not really. It is rather small. That orientation's kind of nice though, right? It kind of messed with that orientation. It's not too bad. The rock does come up pretty close to the top. So a little bit of it might be out of the water, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, I guess the question is, all that time, huh? All that time. I guess we want to leave as much room for flow as possible. So maybe we will leave it like that, just those two rocks. It's not necessarily bad. It does have, still looks nice. It's a shame. I was really excited. I thought that was going to work, but now I just have this little cavern. That's still kind of cool though. Still got a vision. And then there's a bunch of water space here. I think we'll leave it at that. It's a shame. I was really in the hopes that I was going to be able to use both, but that was my foolish idea. I should have given myself like a area of space that I was going to be able to work in instead of just full sending it. But for now, I guess that'll be the world's smallest all-in-one aquarium. Come back when we fill this sucker up.